What's up, everybody? Happy 4th of July. There's no better way to spend Independence Day than doing, I think, probably the most American of things is football, and fantasy football is part of that, right? Am I right, Chris? What is more American other than hot dogs, fireworks, and football?
Yeah, I'm glad you said football and not baseball. So I agree.
Oh, I mean, if this were a baseball stream, I would say that. I mean, technically, there's baseball games right now, but anyways, that's not like. But baseball is a global game, right? That's why you have the World Baseball Classic. Only in America do you have NFL football, except for when they
True.
travel to London and Germany and Mexico. But other than that, it's the most American. But my point
That's true.
is football. All right,
Yeah.
so I'm glad you guys are with us, joining us. We're gonna do a mock draft. This is what we do every week. That's right, every Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, 3 times a week throughout the entire offseason. If you've been with us, you know I'm talking about. If you are new, welcome. Glad you're joining us. It's gonna get hot because you know what? It's July and training camp's not that far away. So we're going to be getting a lot more people on these mocks. Some people asking, how do you join? In just a minute, we're going to drop the link in the chat. So be ready to click and join your spot on Sleeper. You might notice that we already have, I think, wow, we almost half full. We are half full already. Now, why is that? How did people join early? Because they're in the flock. They have joined. They are subscribers to our membership there. You go to flockfantasy.com. You already saw it on there, /endgame, flock fantasy, and you use promo code endgame, and you will know exactly what I'm talking about. You join, get any membership, you'll have access to the Discord, which among other things also has a mock draft channel where this link goes nice and early, and you can actually join the mock draft before we go live. Right? That's how Nate got his spot. Clayton's got his spot. King of the world. He's right before me. He wants to snipe me. Good on him. And then Keith's in there. You guys, if you want in, join now, 30% off while supplies last. And it won't last because once we get closer to the actual season, it won't be there anymore. So let's do it, guys. Yeah, happy 4th. Glad y'all are with me. Everyone's got a belly full of hot dogs and hamburgers, I'm guessing. Chris, did you have what kind of grub did you have today? I did have half a hamburger. I will say that.
Well, I had a burger from In-N-Out, and I just ate a hot dog, so pretty good so far.
There you go. You're good. You're good. All right. Here we go, guys. You want to join this draft? This is open to the public as of right now. Click and join. Get your spot. It's going to be 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 receiver, a tight end, a flex. It's full PPR as usual. There it is.
Yeah, so we usually do 3 wide receiver, and most of our leagues are 3 wide receiver because I feel that I do feel like 3 wide receiver requires more skill in the sense that you got to know more players. But I ran some, if you've been following us on our community posts, I've been running some polls, and 70% of you say you play in your league is full PPR, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers. So I was like, why do we keep doing these 3 wide receiver drafts if 70% of our audience doesn't do 3 wide receivers? So here we go. 4th of July, we're doing a two wide receiver one. And guess who's on the clock? Here's true.
You taking the number 1 spot. All right. There you go. No surprises there.
And then Bengal gets his Bengal. Bengal bro gets his Bengal. Jamar Chase.
And good question. Here's some people asking redraft. Yes, this is redraft. Dynasty now has become kind of a Wednesday thing, I guess. It doesn't mean it has to only be a Wednesday, but that's just what we've been doing. But Tuesday is almost always just a redraft PPR. So that's what this is.
Yes. Curious to see if we have any ridiculous one too many beer picks today or something like that.
That's right. That is right. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe
is Nate already going to time out?
Yeah, maybe Nate's just not aware that he's up. I don't even see his light on. Is he not online?
Oh man,
Nate.
Oh, come on, dude.
All right, see if you can message him. That's right. That's really what it is all about. I think. I mean, look, I will say this: the Patriots are not my favorite team. I know Keith is from up there, and he's a Patriots fan. I'm not. I'm a Dolphins fan, so I will still say though I'm a fan of football. somebody's feeling it. Is he in this draft? Is NMB in this draft? Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's at the 12. He's at the 12. Oh, interesting.
Well, all right. We'll see how that works out.
Well, I guess we can't really say there's been 3 running backs picked because one was an auto, but it's interesting that, and it kind of makes sense when you switch from the 3 wide receiver to the two wide receiver. Going running back early isn't as bad, but getting Tyreek Hill there, that's great value for you for sure.
All right. Well, looks like he's online now, but he needs to take himself off auto.
Yeah, he knows he knows how to. There he goes.
All right.
I messaged him.
Okay. What's up, Joe? I think Joe's right here in town with me, right? Fellow San Antonian. Are you putting it in the chat?
Yeah. Putting it in the chat, Joe. Just make sure. So if you click that link right there, it'll take you right to the sign up page with our promo code Endgame already in. Just fill out the other information, your name, your email, your password, and then it'll take you to, if you'd like to sign up, it'll take you to the subscription page, choose your subscription, and you're in. Also, we didn't really get to talk about it, but you also can play in our Dynasty League with us. We still have a few spots. So anybody who wants to get in on that, go to flockfantasy.com/endgame. We still have a few spots. We'll also be doing redraft leagues this year. Cash prizes for those.
Don't worry. There'll be more Dynasty mocks probably tomorrow.
Yes.
Let's see how he did. The turn. We've seen that the turn of the 12 is usually good. NMB is feeling football-tastic. Let's see how that's turned out for him. What do you think, AJ Brown, Barkley? I mean, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good. Definitely can't complain with that. I do feel like the back half of these drafts seem to be better at the moment.
All right, let's see here.
Well, you got sniped on Waddle. You couldn't get the Dolphins. The Dolphins
couldn't get both. I think it's. Well, let me ask you this. No, I'm about to pick, which easy here. Do you think we're going to see Tyreek Hill drop just a little bit? Like, he used to go 3 automatically, maybe 4. Now I got him here at the 7. It's like, okay, that's not a big drop. Do you think that there's some people who are going to pass based on all this stuff with the rest potentially?
Are there some people who will pass? Probably. Should they? Probably not. I mean, I don't know. Unless something comes out, it sounds like he just slapped the guy, which I'm not saying like you shouldn't slap. Obviously, he should not have slapped the guy. But I don't see the NFL suspending him for that unless video comes out and he did way more than just slap the guy.
Yeah, that's okay, and that's exactly what I'm asking here, Sting. So the Kamara thing, if you saw the video, like it's not good. I mean, they went into a nightclub, they targeted the guy, and they just beat him up. I mean, it was bad. That's like assault, legit assault. Yeah. It looks bad. There's no denying it's him. There's no denying what happened. Something's got to go down there. The Tyreek thing, I haven't seen if there's any video. I don't think there is because they were out on a boat or something. But yeah, from what it sounds like he was upset with the guy and he went like this, like that. I mean, okay, the guy probably didn't like it, and yeah, he figures he can, charge him because he wants to. That's fine. It doesn't seem like something that it's going to be a suspension. Like maybe one game, like slap on the wrist, right? It's like you did this, so the NFL will do this. Like, okay, fine, but yeah, it's not going to affect me in terms of how I draft. Like Tyreek Hill isn't like the best human being. I think we've established that a long time ago before he even got into the NFL. But as far as fantasy football, will this affect him? Not right now.
Yeah, and even if it's a game, even if it was 2 games, people will overreact and they'll be like, you can't draft Tyreek Hill that high anymore because of 2 games. It's 2 games in the first part of your fantasy season. Like, you can give, even if you go 0-2 in those games, like if Tyreek Hill, if drafting Tyreek Hill at the 4 is the reason you go 0-2, you probably have other issues, to be honest.
Yeah.
Or you just got unlucky.
Yeah.
Maybe you got unlucky. But you should be able to survive without Tyreek Hill for 2 games. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not like Tyreek Hill, nobody goes off every single week. Even Justin Jefferson had games where you wished you didn't start him last year. Remember Austin Eckler, after 3 weeks, people were like, oh my God, what a bust. Oh my God, why did I draft Austin Eckler? And then he dominated the rest of the season and you won a championship if you had Austin Eckler. So even if it was 2 games, which seems high to me, I'm not dropping Tyreek Hill.
I'll put it this way. Think about, for comparison's sake, like, okay, Jamar Chase missed, 5 games last year? And that was because of injury. And it was a pretty serious injury, and he came back sooner than people thought.
Yeah.
We're drafting Jamar Chase number 2 overall, maybe number 1. If Tyreek Hill misses a game or 2, it's because he's not hurt. It's just because he's sitting and getting rest.
Yeah.
I would rather take a chance on the guy who's going to have an extra week of rest or 2 than the guy who has a more chance of re-aggravating an injury from last year, who missed more time. And so I'm not saying I'm drafting Hill over Chase, but I'm saying there's other things you could worry about that are more serious. And if Tyreek Hill falls to the second round, that's almost absurd. Unless he misses like 4+ games, which if he misses 4+ games, that seems absurd.
Yeah. And that's the difference here between him and like a guy like Kamara.
Yeah.
Kamara is bad. I know people are like, no, he's not. He's bad. He was bad. He was kind of bad 2 years ago, and he was really bad last year, and it's probably not going to get better. So you're drafting a guy who's probably not going to be that good in fantasy anyways, and he's likely missing 6 games. Tyreek Hill, we know when he's on the field, is a monster. So I'll gladly, figure it out for 2 games with the rest of my roster and then have Tyreek Hill the rest of the season. I mean, look at DeAndre Hopkins last year. He missed 6 games for the suspension, and he dropped way down in drafts. And then he came back and was like a top 10 wide receiver. And everybody who waited those 6 weeks, and if you went 3-3, he was carrying your team. Now, obviously, he decided not to play the last 2 games when it really mattered, which some of us may be bitter about because it may have affected us in championships. But that's a perfect example. When you have a guy who is a stud like Tyreek Hill, you shouldn't worry about him missing a couple games if he even misses a couple.
Yeah. Other guys have other issues that I'd be more worried about right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think there's almost no way he misses more than a game or 2, if any. I mean, it could be.
I don't think he'll miss any. I mean, again, unless the video comes out and it's like, oh, he slammed his head, like he didn't slap him, he grabbed his head and slammed his head into the wall or something, like, where it's like, oh, that's not a slap. Like,
that would be different.
It would have to be something like that.
Based on what we know, based on what we've heard and what we know. Yeah. Well.
How much would you charge to let Tyreek Hill slap you? I don't feel like Tyreek Hill could slap that hard.
But yeah, he's not big, but he'd be so fast, right? Because he's like the cheetah. He'd be like,
Yeah, but that's good because you don't want you wouldn't want some big dude who is gonna have this huge wind up. And you're like, oh God, here it comes, right? And you have to brace for it. It's like he'd be sitting there and all of a sudden you'd get slapped. You'd be like, oh, I got slapped. So you know what I mean? It's like, that's better, right? It's like pulling the Band-Aid off. It's just ripping it off instead of
The faster is better. They have this thing, right? Those slapping contests. Have you seen those?
Yes.
Okay, so people watch the hot dog eating contest. It's interesting for a while, but I can't just watch it over and over again because It's like, I mean, come on. But those, I could watch those. And I'm not saying that I have, but I have. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just, after we're done here, search it on YouTube. Slapping contests, these usually these big guys. And all they do is they sit and they let each other just the hardest slap possible. And when there's a knockout, you're just like, man, I mean, it makes boxing look like nothing because there's no gloves. There's no nothing. It's just like full blown. And they wind up, right? You see what I'm talking about? They're like,
yes.
bah. And that is entertaining. So I wouldn't do that for pride or for like a trophy or anything. How much would I charge Tyreek? I'd say I think $1K would be enough.
I'm going 10K. I feel like 10K for him is not a lot of money for a slap.
No, I'd do it. I'd do it for less. Yeah, they are pretty rough. What's up, Barter Mania in the house? Happy 4th. I don't know if it's maybe an Irish Independence Day too.
Well, I mean,
you can have Guinness
he
on.
Does have the Irish thing, so he's got to throw the Irish in there. But
you can have a Guinness on 4th of July. That's totally allowed.
Totally fine. Look at what we've done to DK Metcalf's ADP. We have crushed him. He's now a borderline 4th rounder.
That's more where it belongs. After Watson, after London, after Cooper. This feels more right. In fact,
I don't even know if I would take him before Ridley, honestly.
Yeah, I was about to say Ridley even probably should be after Ridley. Yeah, actually. Okay, hold on. I got another question I want to answer in a second. Let's see how this next pick goes down.
Tough spot here, I guess.
I mean, it's not like you missed something. It's just, I mean, we talked with DK. What is his true ceiling? I mean, they just added the top rookie receiver in the draft class and probably the best, well, maybe the second best after Bijan, one of the best pass catching running backs in the draft. He's got Geno Smith at quarterback. How does he do better than last year? I think he's just being a little bit overdrafted.
Yeah, and he wasn't even that good last year. I don't think people realize that. Like he wasn't that good last year, and it's hard to see him even being as good this year because, like you said, JSN at some point is going to be integrated into this offense pretty, fully. And now you have 3 guys fighting for targets. Not a high volume passing offense. You got to hope Geno Smith didn't just play out of his mind last year and this is the real Geno Smith, not the guy the 10 years prior. So I just think there's way too many red flags for DK Metcalf, especially when you got guys like we said, Ridley, DJ Moore, Ayuk, other guys that are still on the board. I just don't see it.
You look at Metcalf, he barely cleared 1,000 yards last year. And what he doesn't have, which is weird, being is that it's DK Metcalf, he hasn't put together a lot of big games, at least last season he didn't. You know what I mean? It's just more like steady contributor. I don't feel like he's going to help you win enough weeks, like you're saying. I mean, he's fine. I got no problem with him, but yeah, I'm looking for more upside.
Yeah, definitely more upside in that range.
Okay, so I was waiting to see if he would fall to me. He did. All right. So Kenneth Walker, still talking about Seattle. Is he becoming a steal because people overreact to Charbonnet? I mean, it depends. I got him middle of the 4th round. I think that's kind of where he belongs. If you get him in the 5th round, yeah, that's a steal.
Yeah, 5th round probably is where I'd start to consider him a steal. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too low on him. Maybe I'm gonna be wrong. But he was another, he's I mean, you kind of need Charbonnet to just be the pass catching guy. Like, you're going to need Kenneth Walker to still get, 15, 17-ish carries. So, I don't know. We'll see. It's one of those things where sometimes you got to make your bets and just say this is how I feel, and sometimes you're right and sometimes you're wrong. So, I don't know. I don't have a good feeling. One thing I do feel fairly strongly about is that without a Zach Charbonnet injury, Kenneth Walker probably won't be like a top 5, maybe even a top 10 running back. So for me, it's like, okay, if he ends up outperforming the ADP, fine. But I think you're also okay if you don't draft him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't feel like he obviously has as much upside as he would have. I mean, he wasn't necessarily going to be a big pass catching running back anyways. And then, of course, pretty big signal when they draft Charbonnet that's what the role he's going to take. So there's a cap, right? I don't know if top 10 running back is realistic. But you don't have to get him as a top 10 running back. That's the thing. If he falls outside that in terms of draft value, which usually he is, yeah, I'm totally fine taking him, because to me, his game and his usage is kind of like J.K. Dobbins, right? He's not going to be a big pass catcher either. He's going to depend on big plays, and he's going to need to score some touchdowns, which he will. So I see Walker and Dobbins, to some extent Pierce, although Pierce a little bit lower end just because he's on Houston, as very similar. Okay, let's answer this. It'll be a while before he's taken. We did talk about Kamara earlier. Isaac wants to know what we think about the backup running back of the Saints, Kendre Miller. So, what do you think of Kendre Miller?
Well, I think Kendre Miller's awesome. And I think if Kendre Miller hadn't sprained his MCL in that playoff game against Michigan and he had done athletic testing at the combine, everybody else would think he was awesome too, because he doesn't have Jahmyr Gibbs or Devon. I thought it was Devon. I guess it's Devon Achane type of speed, but he's probably right there with Bijan, like that 4.4 range. And he's a bigger dude. Like, he's 215, 216. So that's more than fast enough. And even though he didn't catch passes in college, if you watch him catching passes, he's got great hands. He really does. He has fantastic hands. They just didn't use him that way. But you also have to remember Jamal Williams is there. They just signed him. So I've been saying the same thing about Kendre Miller. I've been comparing him kind of like Tyler Algier. Not in terms of the archetype of the player, in terms of like how Tyler Algier was last year in terms of production. Because even if Kamara is suspended, Jamal Williams is going to have a role, and Kendre Miller is going to have to earn his role in this offense. But I could see him being a guy towards the end of the season. If Kamara's not playing well again, if Jamal has never, I've loved Jamal. He's an awesome guy, but he's not a very good real life running back. He just isn't. He's kind of just a guy, right? He's just a guy. So I could see him as the season goes on being Kendre Miller. I'm talking about being the best running back in this backfield. Like, he's just we talked about this last year with guys like Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, and James Robinson. Breece Hall, Michael Carter, even Tyler Algier with Cordero Patterson. Eventually, coaches have to give the better player the ball more. Like, they have to eventually give in and say, right, this Travis Etienne is just way better than James Robinson. Breece Hall is just way better than Michael Carter. Tyler Algier is just way better than Cordero Patterson. Those guys need the ball. I could see that happening with Kendrick, but you probably are going to have to be patient with him.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work. It doesn't always work out that way, but yeah, usually the better player gets the ball and they force their hand. I think that is actually a fair comp. Talk about the Algier in terms of situation and I mean, think about Jamal Williams. He benefited from Detroit having one of the best run blocking offensive lines and just happened to get so many red zone situations.
Yeah.
I mean, he was fine. Look, nothing against him, but he's not a serious rookie who's more athletic, someone who, if he shows out well, could be the starter, not just for the rest of this year, but years to come. So, yeah.
Yeah, long term, I definitely like him because, like, if we're talking about dynasty, because Jamal Williams, I mean, he's just a guy. His contract isn't anything crazy where they have to, like, you think they're like committed to him long term. Kamara, up there in age, up there in touches, was very inefficient last year. Only going to get worse. I could see next season Kendre Miller being the starting guy. Remember, they used a 3rd-round draft pick on him, so he got the draft capital. So I could definitely see Kendre Miller being the starting running back next year.
Yeah, exactly. All right. That. Okay, serious question here.
Okay.
Always Nate bringing the seriousness to the discussion. Yeah, burgers and dogs. But what is the best side? You're asking me the best side to go with burgers and dogs or just the best side in general? I'm assuming you mean like 4th of July specific.
I don't even know. Like, what are 4th of July specific sides? Like, for me, it's just like some chips.
Like Ruffles?
Some potato chips. A burger
potato
and potato
salad?
chips, a hot dog and potato chips. I'm good.
I think it's something potato-y, or potato chips or potato salad.
Yeah, no, I don't like that potato salad stuff. That's
you don't like potato salad.
Just give me the potato chips. I'm good.
Chips. It's got to be. Yeah, I think chips. Anything with potatoes.
Yeah, I mean, like, is mac and cheese a side on 4th of July? I love mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese is just an every day, any day go-to side.
Any day side.
All right, Nate, what's your answer? I know he said he wants in on it, so tell us the answer. Cape Cod. Now those are actually really good. We do have them here. Those Cape Cod chips, the crispy ones. Those are good.
I've never heard of them. Must be an East Coast thing. So I will say this draft was going perfectly as planned until everybody decided they needed a 3rd running back.
Yeah, and I mean, I was going to have to take Swift if he fell. And of course, he didn't fall. And of course, it was Ale who took him. I didn't think it's round 6. Yeah, I didn't think Akers falling a lot.
Yeah, these we don't usually see these running backs in the 5th and 6th round. This is interesting here. Now I have to really wonder.
So between the two guys I was going to take, I knew you would take at least one, if not both of them. So I went ahead and I took Pitts. Let's see what you do here.
I mean, I was hoping Goddard would make it to me. Only needed to dodge 2 picks, but he didn't.
There you go. That was the other guy I was going to take if I didn't take Pitts.
I'm just debating which running back I want here. I mean, this feels so early for these running backs, but man, it's been a running back frenzy the last 2 rounds. So
I think there's still a couple of guys who would qualify as like a low end RB2 that are out there. Pacheco's there. They got two more guys in mind I think could count as an RB2. And then there's more RB3 types, flyer types.
Yeah, the running backs are gone, which is very rare for our drafts. But I think Pacheco's there's a few guys there I was contemplating on. So,
all right, finishing on that last thread here. The fact you've never heard of Cape Cod chips is the best. I guess it's
we don't all live in New England. All right, some of us live in California, and we don't have Cape Cod chips out here.
And then apparently the answer is watermelon. All right, watermelon in the hot weather. I get that. We got some watermelon.
Yeah, I've never been a big watermelon fan, to be honest.
It's not my favorite. It's not. I mean, it's fine. My girls love it. They always get watermelon and make me cut the watermelon. But I don't know. It's okay.
Nate too busy thinking about sides and not making picks. His second auto pick.
I was gonna say you're up. Oh man. I know it now. We know what side he's been having. It's that Cape Cod. It's a Sam Adams, is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. We know what side he's been having.
All right, Clayton. Is Clayton on?
He's been on. He's been drafting.
I don't know if I always trust these green dots. They come on and off, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he's not.
Oh, come on,
Hopefully
dude.
he has a queue. I mean, I look. I don't know if Dalvin Cook was in his queue because Dalvin Cook seems to be the typical auto pick here. But I was actually thinking about Dalvin Cook when I took Pacheco.
I mean, there's a path if he signs with the right team, or if he signs with any team.
I mean, you got to think he's going to sign with a team. It's just a matter of when and which team.
All right. He's trying to cover up. He's saying Lockett was in his queue. Yeah. Sure he was.
We may have two auto drafters now.
I will say though,
Holiday draft.
Call everybody out. Clayton, I know, probably has some issues with the internet that happens to him, which I totally feel you on that. You know that. I do think, was it right after me, Feener? I think we've seen him do this a couple of times. So
Yeah, I think we need to create a list like a not allowed to draft with us
blacklist, like TSA. You're on the no-fly list.
Yeah, you're on the no draft list.
All right, Joe, just signed up.
Thank you, Joe. By the way,
Appreciate it.
if you want to get in the Dynasty League, Joe, drop me a DM on in Discord, and I will send you the link for the Dynasty League. Even if you never played Dynasty, it's okay. You're in. There's no buy-in. $100 if you win, $50 per second. T-shirt just for playing. So even if you never played Dynasty before, it's all good. Come try it out. Have fun.
No, that if you haven't played Dynasty before, it's perfect. That's exactly why we made the league. It's right. So teach, go through the course, of course. If you haven't seen it, you got it now. Watch that Dynasty course, learn, our little tips and tricks, draft together, and teach you how to build that Dynasty champion so you can dominate your other leagues.
Yeah, that is actually, you mentioned that. That is actually one of the benefits of Dynasty, even if it's not like your main thing. It forces you to learn about more players, which will then help you in your redraft leagues.
Yes, it really does. I mean, There we go. I put up the wrong link. So anybody else who wants to sign up, if you know we're talking about here, anybody who's new, check us out there. And by the way, good time to mention just updated Dynasty rankings for Superflex and 1QB and Best Ball rankings. So for those who are doing Underdog or Best Ball anywhere else. So if you go to flockfantasy.com/endgame, look for the rankings. You'll see them up there. You want to know where we rank guys for not just for Dynasty, but also Best Ball. So just today. The more competitive the leagues and the deeper the leagues you play in, the better you'll get. It's kind of like a gauntlet. It's like going through the 36 chambers. Like once you go out there, if you survive, that's it. Like you can take on anything. So if you can get through an endgame league and win, I mean, your home league will be like a joke.
Yeah, for sure. And even like our endgame redraft leagues, like those things were tough last year, man. Like they're tough. They're tough. And, I play in my home league, and then I play in a league with a friend of mine. And I just come out of those drafts just feeling like, oh my gosh, like my team is so ridiculous. Because you just get so used to drafting against sharp people and there's no value. And then you go in these other leagues and it's like, how did I start, Justin Jefferson, Saquon Barkley, like how did I start with these guys? Like how did my draft start this way or whatever it is? You know what I mean? Like just crazy, ridiculous. Like, yeah.
Yep.
All right. Kazi, I don't know if I should have let you said his name. How does he join the Dynasty League? He's never played, but he wants to try. How does he join?
Okay. I got to go back and put up the comment again. No. All right. So here it is. If you want to join, let's get it up again. If I can go back to that link. Nope, that's the wrong link. Okay. So what we're doing this season is we're posting everything through. Last year we had a Patreon. This year, part of the Flock. It's flockfantasy.com/endgame, which I'm still looking to find the comment that has the link. And so if you join any subscription, you'll get access to that league. There it is. Shouldn't have taken that long.
Making a timeout again.
Oh, come on, dude.
And he's still commenting. All right. So, so if you want to join flockfantasy.com/endgame, so that gives you access to a lot of things, any subscription there. And right now you get 30% off until, the actual draft season, kicks off. So access to the Dynasty League, which is free with a subscription, but you can win money. And the Dynasty course that teaches you how to dominate in Dynasty. And also you get to join these mocks early. You get access to the mock draft channel, and we're going to do a lot of them throughout the rest of the off season. Rankings, we have articles, actually written articles that go up, and not just ours, but also everyone else who's in that Flock site. This is Fantasy Land, Fantasy Stock Exchange, of course, Mason from Flock. And then also sometimes we'll put some bonus videos. So a whole lot of stuff there. It's all kind of in one nice, neat place.
Yep.
Yeah. Kind of.
I don't know about that.
I mean, there's some guys, but not anybody you're too excited about, is there?
I like Zay Flowers a lot.
I like Flowers. Yeah, I like Flowers.
I like Elijah Moore. I mean, there's risk, but I like Elijah Moore. I think JSN could have a good second half. Tony, we know what we could get with him, but we also know what we could get with him. So,
Yes, and that's the way they do it. And there are different levels, right? We have a couple different levels.
Yeah, different levels. You can I think you can do monthly, month to month. You can pay for the full year in advance. All sorts of different options. Freener's last 4 picks are a combined 120 years old.
That's what he deserves for getting auto.
Actually, that's not true. Kamara's only 28, so they're a combined 118 years old.
Okay. You can round, you can estimate. And yes, it was. Although it's actually a movie reference. I don't know if you've seen the 36 Chambers. It's worth it. Though I recommend Shogun Assassin. It's really a good movie. If you heard Liquid Swords, every soundbite from that album is from that movie. Classic.
Yeah, Wu-Tang was big into the kung fu.
All right, let's see. Penny Bateman. Soon Bateman get picked. All right. I'll just say this. Someone mentioned about Ale, starting tight end with Kelsey, which, again, first round, that position there at the 10, smart. Still somehow managed to get 3 stud receivers, 2 good starting running backs, and then have a dominant team. I really feel like he doesn't. I mean, there's always some players he goes with. Like, I think we'll see Elijah Mitchell come up at some point. But other than that, for the most part, he just goes for value. And I think that's it. And I think you posted this the other day about Underdog and the tournaments, and I know some people are playing those. Like, you can't get stuck on a guy. You just have to play the board and find the best value. Because when you're going up against a big field, you just put together the team that's going to score a lot, you can win your league, right? And you get your $10 back or whatever. But if you want to win the big payday in the tournament, you have to outdraft thousands of people, and you have to get the players in the right spots, even if they're not players you love. You also have to get lucky in the late rounds. You just have to, right? You have to. Yeah. But you just go for value. I think every time that's the best thing. Don't get stuck on who. Just get stuck on upside at the right ADP.
Yeah, it's not very often from the 11th spot you can start Kelsey, Garrett Wilson. That's pretty nice. Pretty nice.
I kind of got lucky there. Garrett Wilson's been going first round, or at least beginning of the second round. So and then Watson to fall at the 310, and then Swift to fall in the 6th round. Man. But yeah, people still drafting Bateman. I mean, he's not undraftable.
Oh.
You can draft him, but I don't know if I'm drafting him as high.
So this is kind of funny. James Hetfield, if you know Metallica, he's the lead singer for Metallica, was in my dream last night. And we were actually just like chatting, like just randomly chatting. Kind of weird. And now he's asking me about the Black. The Black album was on when I stopped listening to Metallica. The Black album was like, the Black album was like the kick in the nuts. Like what happened to Metallica?
Did they get a little too soft or what?
I don't know. I mean, I've gone back and tried to listen to it, as I've gotten older, and like, okay, maybe I just was too young and just wanted the same thing over and over. Like, just give me the same thing over and over. I don't know if it's too soft. It's just, I don't know. There's definitely something missing. Like, if you listen to their first 4 albums, especially like Master of Puppets, Ride the Lightning, and then you listen to the Black album, it's like there's just something missing. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's something missing. Maybe it's the fact that James Hetfield sobered up for that album.
That's never good for the music.
No.
Sorry, but it's true. Some of the best albums were done under the influence. But it's funny now seeing it because it's kind of become mainstream because of Stranger Things, and like the teenage kids, they know Master of Puppets because of that. Which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But
I could still go back. I mean, I could still go back to this day, and like if I hear Ride the Lightning or Fade to Black or Master of Puppets or One or whatever, I'll be like, oh man, this song is still so good. even to this day. But then I hear like Inner Sandman, and I'm just like, what? What is this? What happened?
That's funny. Yeah, classic music is timeless.
All right, well, Ale left Mitchell for me, so I'll take him. Yeah, this is probably a good way to describe it. Keith, I feel like Keith might be a metalhead, but the Black Album is when Metallica became a corporate entity. It's polished. It's missing that raw energy. Yes, that's what it is. It's just something about it. Like it's not the same.
I think we established long ago Keith listens to some music that would probably scare young children, but that's all right. Nothing wrong with that. You know, it's funny that reminded me because today when I was working out, put on Van Halen. This perfect example, like their early albums versus anything after 1984. Now, of course, Sammy Hagar is a different thing, right? It's like not, I don't say unlistenable, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. And then Stinger asking, why is everyone hating on the Black Album? My dad said the same thing. Have you listened to their first 4 albums? Have you listened to And Justice for All, Master of Puppets, Ride the Lightning? Kill 'Em All might be too much. I don't know. You have to really be into it, but if you listen to go listen to those albums and then go put the Black Album on and be like, oh, I get it now.
It's different energy.
Yeah, those other 3 albums are just so good. Well, we're getting a chip discussion going in the Discord now, it seems.
In the Discord? Oh, that's funny. Do we have to do like a tiered ranking thing of chips? Like what's
well,
the
Mike did say Yellow Cook chips are S tier, so we might have to.
S tier. I love it. That's hilarious. Does everybody know? I mean, unless I'm wrong, that comes from like RPGs. It's like a video game thing, like Dark Souls, because you can upgrade your weapon, and like the highest grade is S, and then it's A, B, C, D.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it started I think it might have started in Japan with like their school system or something. I don't really know.
Man, Gallup got taken. I thought Gallup would still be there.
Nah, not when we talk about him. Stinger must have watched my video today, drafting Irv Smith. Kind of like Irv Smith.
I mean, he's in a good spot.
He's 25. He's a tight end breakout age. He's a good pass catching tight end. The Bengals throw to the tight end. It's like Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance.
There's always a chance.
What are the chances Nate actually makes this last pick?
Yeah.
Because he's in the chat commenting about Mastodon right now.
Mastodon is pretty good. I mean, I haven't heard too much of theirs. Mastodon's good.
All right. Well, I will say this. I used to love Tool as well. Tool was a great band. Tool was great.
You know what's funny now?
I didn't like Perfect Circle, like the new band he started, as much.
I don't know Tool, but what's funny is now I get, I guess, educated on some like 80s, 90s rock and metal by my teenage daughter. She's like, have you heard Korn? I was like, I mean, I heard some of it, but it wasn't like my favorite. She's like, oh, you should hear the winner. So she's playing the music for me. It's like, how do you know? I guess with Spotify, right, anything goes. But
have you heard of Korn? Like, because I remember, thinking back, thinking like, oh, I I discovered this. Oh. And then everybody's like, yeah, I've been listening to him for years. It's like, oh, never mind. Hey, have you ever heard Korn? Oh my God. Yeah, I heard Korn like 20 years ago.
Yeah, I think so. All right, here we go. Recap, and let's go team by team, starting with Chris at the number 1. Justin Jefferson, Ramondre at the 212, Jalen Hurts, Williams, Kirk, and Addison, Pacheco, Charbonnet, Algier, Eli Mitchell, Chuba Hubbard with Njoku kind of squeezed in there. So you got your stud quarterback. Of course, you got JJ. So I think where Ramondre went, that's pretty good. Your RB2 is going to be kind of a mix and match situation here, right? I mean,
yeah,
that was Pacheco's fine. Charbonnet's fine. You're solid at receiver. I almost feel like this team is a little safe for you.
I don't know. I don't know if Mike Williams. I don't know if people would consider Mike Williams, Christian Kirk, and Jordan Addison safe. I will say, like that running back run we had in the 5th and 6th round really messed me up. I thought one of those, at least one or two of those guys would fall to me at the 6th there as my RB2. So getting Pacheco as my RB2 doesn't feel super good, but yeah, like you said, I went for quantity over quality at my RB2.
But look, better to be solid at the wide receiver spot than anything. This is a 2 receiver, 1 flex league. I mean, yeah. I mean, I get it because you're going to have like Addison or Kirk or one of those guys on your bench, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to be starting like Jefferson and then 2 of Williams and Kirk with Stevenson and Hurts. So, I mean, I like that. My RB2 is certainly going to be an issue, but you know what? I'm fine with my RB2 being an issue because I'll pick up somebody off the waiver wire and I'll be fine.
You probably will. Yeah. That's what I know that you're saying though, because you're at the beginning here, like to get Swift or Pierce or Akers, like it felt a little early for them, right? But then you knew they would all be gone coming back. So,
yeah.
All right. Very good. Bengal bro took Chase. And then with Pollard, Andrews, Dobbins, Burrow. So he definitely has Bengal bros. Hollywood, Pickens, Dillon, Zay Flowers, McKinnon, Bigsby, and Rashee Rice. So pair of Bengals and a pair of Ravens. Interesting. And waited on his receiver too. So what do you think of that strategy?
Yeah, I mean, in this format, I think it's fine because you only have to start 2 receivers. So, you know, Chase and Hollywood should be okay. And then you just need one of Pickens, Dillon, Zay Flowers basically to be your flex. And then you're hoping those late round guys pop off. So that's the thing about this. That is one thing about this format is it certainly gives you more options in, in your builds.
Yeah, I do think it's okay. Like to me, I'm not taking Andrews quite that early, but overall, I think this is a pretty solid build. All right, Nate. I don't know if is Nate even on. I'm sure he's on. He's listening. All right. Nate is going to go with Eckler at the 3. Apparently was in his queue. Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Hawkinson. So he went kind of 0 wide receiver because then he didn't take his first until Terry in round 5, Pittman in round 6, Lockett in round 7. Then with Gibby, Jamal Williams, Gabe Davis, Khalil Herbert, Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, see, this feels more like a safe team to me. Like Eckler and Henry, Mahomes, Hawkinson, and then your wide receivers are McLaurin and Pittman, and you're flexing Lockett or Gibson or Jamal or somebody like that. I mean, the Eckler pick, I don't know if he would have gone with Eckler there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would have liked to seen a more, different. I don't know. I would like to seen a wide receiver earlier. That's for sure. Even in a 2 wide receiver league.
Yeah. I mean, and the same thing for me in picking the tight ends, but Hawkinson's a little early to take Hawk before you take in a single receiver. Yeah, it's going to probably hurt you just because, I don't know if Terry is really wide receiver 1 material in fantasy. Yeah. All right, Kajar Tanari, team 4. Kupp and Higgins, Brees Hall, Keenan Allen, Justin Fields, Aaron Jones, Burks, Freiermuth, Damian Harris, Dobbs, Spears, and Rondale Moore. This team looks pretty solid throughout.
Yeah, definitely. It feels risky. Brees Hall coming off ACL, Keenan Allen, old, Aaron Jones, old.
Yeah, the running backs are risky.
Yeah, it certainly feels risky here. There's certainly picks. Like, I like the Kupp Higgins start for sure. I don't know. I just think when there's running backs still on the board, like Najee, Jacobs, even Etienne, I'd rather just take those guys over Hall because I don't have to worry about them, coming back from a torn ACL. So I think when those running backs are on the board, I'd rather just grab those guys. I don't really mind Keenan there, to be honest, and the field is obviously great. And then, I guess Jones is okay. Again, we had that running back run at the end of the fifth, the beginning of the sixth. It kind of like all the running backs, all the solid RB2s kind of flew off the board in a row there. That kind of changed things. So it's a good team, I think, but it definitely does feel risky to me.
I think every other position is really solid. His running backs are all super risky, like just all of them. So we'll see how that shakes out. Clayton went with Bijan at the 5, Devontae Smith, Amari Cooper, and Ayuk, and then Herbert and Goddard. I really like that stretch right there. Yeah. And then hopefully these guys were queued up. We went with Dalvin Cook, Javonte Williams. Waller, that's kind of a wasted pick. Juju, pretty much a wasted pick. Cousins is a wasted pick, and then Lazard. So this is definitely a tale of two halves.
Yeah, I love the first 6 picks, to be honest. I think the other picks were all auto-drafted. But yeah, Bijan, Smith, Cooper, Ayuk, Herbert, and Goddard, that's a great start. If he hadn't auto-drafted there and had gone like with Dotson or somebody like that, I'm only going to grade him on the first 6 picks. I think they're great.
First half, first 6 picks is like a 9 out of 10. The second half, more like a 2. But anyway.
Yeah.
King of the World went with CMC and Chubb, and then followed up with London, Hopkins, Godwin, Judy. Monty as the RB3, Watson at QB, J-Mo, Rashawn Johnson, Kmet is the tight end, and Jaylen Warren.
Yeah, for an RB start, I like it. You're getting 2 good RBs. They're old, and they have a lot of wear and tear on them, but they're good. But you still got pretty good wide receivers. Obviously, it's going to depend a lot on where Hopkins lands. Godwin and Judy feel like floor plays to me. So, and you kind of already have the floor with McCaffrey and Chubb, right? When you have like stud running backs, you can feel pretty good about your floor. Guess I would have liked to see more upside guys there. I don't know who's on the board that you could have taken. Addison, Pickens, Burks, Lockett, whatever. But it's a solid team. It definitely feels a little safe to me.
Yeah, exactly. It's really solid throughout. I don't love Hopkins, Godwin, or Judy this year, but at least you got them at the right spot. I think we've seen Judy go even sometimes in round 4, round 5. So you got him in the middle of round 6. At least he's your wide receiver 4. I think that's fine to take him there. So yeah, taking some more shots. I guess Williams counts as upside, but I think it's a pretty good draft. All right, and then I went with Tyreek Hill and Olave, and then took Najee and Kenny Walker. Deontay Johnson as the third receiver, Pitts as a tight end, Dotson as Shane, Dak Prescott, Mooney, Foreman, bingo.
Yeah, I like this team a lot. You got 2 really good wide receivers, 2 solid running backs. Your flex between Deontay, Dotson, and Shane, you should be okay there. I like Pitts this year. I think Dak's a good value. Definitely a strong team.
Playing for value, that's the name of the game here. Feener, I don't know we even bother this team. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, skip
Stinger, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Etienne, Moore, Lawrence, Connor, Elijah Moore, Brian Robinson, of course, Nico Collins, Kendra Miller, who we talked about earlier, Jaden Reed, and Irv Smith as the starting tight end.
Yeah, again, it's just crazy that James Conner went in the early 6th round in this draft, but you got to do what you got to do when the running backs are flying like that. But I like this start. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, DJ Moore, you should be set at wide receiver and flex. Etienne and Connor, I think, are fine. I think Connor is definitely a good value. Like, I don't mind. Like, I'm not saying I don't like the Connor pick. I think Connor is a very good value in drafts right now. It's just, man, how often do we see Connor in the early sixth? But I like that pick. I think he's solid as your RB2. You got Trevor Lawrence. I like your bench. You got some pieces like Elijah Moore, Brian Robinson, Nico, Kendre, Jaden Reed. These guys could all break out. You know, one or two of these guys, I shouldn't say they all are going to break out. One or two could break out. And I like Irv Smith as a late round tight end. So I definitely like this team a lot.
Yeah, I mean, one pick, maybe not make or break your team, but yeah, if you hadn't gotten sniped by Ale and landed Swift instead of Connor, man, this would have been a great team. It's already a really good team, but yeah I would have liked it more. Ale, we discussed his team, always does a good job. Got 3 really good receivers. After Kelsey, Pierce, Swift, and James Cook. JSN is the 4th receiver, Bateman, and then Anthony Richardson at quarterback. I know you endorsed that move.
Definitely endorse that. This is a very strong team. I mean, he obviously, you know, he needs Pierce to be good this year, needs Swift to break out to some degree. But man, with Kelsey, those wide receivers, and Anthony Richardson, this team is just, it's got a ton of upside.
Definitely a ton of upside. Always a good team. All right, let's see. Keith went with Stephon Diggs and Sun God, and then Jahmyr Gibbs, Calvin Ridley, Sanders, Rachaad White, Kadarius Toney, Ingram, Penny, Tua, Gallup, and Chase Brown.
I mean, for waiting on QB, this is pretty good. You got Diggs, St. Brown, and Ridley. That's really nice. Gibbs, Sanders, Rachaad White. That's really nice. So basically, you know, between those 6 guys, you should be able to find 5 very good starters week to week. And then you still got Tua, who's fine there. I would have gone Richardson personally, but Tua I think is fine there. Like Ingram as a tight end. Definitely like the shots he took on his bench. Another very good team.
Really good. I mean, look, if Gibbs puts up RB1 numbers, yeah, this team will be just fine. And NMB, last but never least, AJ Brown and Barkley, DK, Josh Allen, Madison Akers, P. Ryan of the running backs, and then Quentin Johnson, Cortland Sutton, Rashid Shaheed, and Sky Moore with Chig as the tight end.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about DK. There's other wide receivers I'm taking over him there. I like the A.J. Brown Barkley start. That's great. Josh Allen at the 4-1. Tremendous value there. Like, I would have liked to seen a different player over Madison. I just think there are running backs I like more on the board. And even, you know, wide receivers I probably like more than Madison as well. He's okay, I guess. Definitely like the Akers pick. I like the shots you took on your bench as well, like P. Ryan, Johnston, Shaheed. I even like Chig late, so just a couple picks in there I probably would have changed.
Yeah, I think the Madison pick is fine because Akers right there next to him. I mean, you can take your pick, basically, who you want to start there. Even if Madison flops, you know, it's not going to hurt you. I think this is probably the best overall running back group that I see out of all these teams. You know, maybe probably higher on Madison than you, but I think it's really solid because all those guys could be starters. The receivers is where it's iffy. DK, you know, we talked about earlier. Don't love him there. Quentin Johnson is just risky. Sutton is like, Shaheed we like, but you don't want to necessarily have to start him every week. So the receivers are the ones that I question. But I think this team definitely has potential. So, all right. So back to business. The business, of course, of eating. Hopefully everyone enjoys the rest of their Independence night. Don't forget, some of you just joined tonight. Thank you. Appreciate that. Look forward to seeing you there on Discord and the Flock. So join right now, flockfantasy.com/endgame. You can get in on these mocks, get your spot nice and early, pick for tomorrow's draft ahead of time. Be in, join the Dynasty Leagues, compete with us, plus everything else. Like I mentioned, rankings for Dynasty just got updated. They are fresh. So check it out. All right, guys. We'll see you again next time.